Welcome, my dear ladies. Welcome, my dear ladies. My name is Olga Zerna. I'm your health and nutrition coach for today, and we're going to start this webinar. Today, we're going to talk about weight loss for busy moms and how to ditch those love handles without counting calories, intense cardio, and skipping dinner. I'm going to share some of my strategies. My promise to you today is that by the end of this masterclass, I will break down some things that will make it clear for you why some certain methods and strategies that you have used to lose weight have not worked for you at all or have not worked for you long term. And we'll go through main strategies that can make your journey easier. So, couple of words about myself before we start. My name is Olga Zerna. I am a board certified nutrition specialist and narrative health coach. I have created already 2 programs, and I will tell you a little bit about one of them a little bit later. In my work, I'm using a blend of health coaching and nutrition science, and that blend, I believe, enhances the ability of my clients to see their strong traits, to see how they can find their own path, personalized path to their health and wellness, and of course, to their weight gain. I'm particularly passionate about supporting women, especially busy moms, who are willing to shed weight and who are tired of doing that through restrictions and exhausting workouts and cooking a lot and all that stuff. So let's begin. I work with women, and all of them share similar dreams about how they feel when they lose weight. And at the same time, they share very similar set of symptoms, like those that you can see on this slide. Digestive symptoms, poor sleep, insomnia, cravings, weight gain in the belly area that is so hard to get rid of, feeling groggy, PMS symptoms, low energy, like all of these symptoms that are so common among women. And usually many of these symptoms are not connected to the problems about weight loss, like why you cannot lose weight. It's definitely not because you feel groggy. Maybe you think that way. So we'll see what do you think at the end of this workshop. If you can relate to any of these symptoms, then maybe you can relate also to the methods that are so popular, so common. Like almost every single woman that I know who tried to lose weight tried one or all of these methods of weight loss. These are the list of pretty common things. Like, are you guilty of any of those? Have you tried switching low fat or eliminating protein foods, eliminating meat in favor of some like chia seeds, yogurt blends, or some plant-based proteins? I know that skipping meals is so spread among the women. Like, this is one of the first things that women usually do, and as well as, of course, some kinds of fasting, like eating just apples for several days in order to lose weight. And the weird thing about these methods of losing weight is that everyone knows about them. Almost every single woman have tried them, but still people cannot lose weight. Like, women complain that they cannot sustain their weight that they want to sustain. Why does that happen? Like, is it about their weak will, maybe? Or maybe that's something wrong about those women? Is it something wrong with you? No. If you tried many times and failed, if you try new diets but they do not work for you, if you work out and see no results, I'm here today to tell you this is not your fault. This is not your fault. Everything is fine with you. I know that you have tried so hard, but there's a bigger problem at play that you may not even realize is there, and that is the cause of uncontrolled weight gain that is so hard to oppose, especially if you're a woman who is around 40 years old. You know, right now we live in the world of unprecedented access to information. Like everyone knows what they have to do to lose weight. We're overwhelmed usually by loads of information thrown at us from every single gadget and I don't know, from everywhere. Weight loss industry is so huge and it keeps growing. And this growing, this work of this industry is not always targeted at your health, at your results. Sometimes the industry works just to keep you in that same cycle over and over. And unfortunately, many influencers use shame and guilt in order to make you try their new diet, try some new magic supplement or some new superfood that is so marketed by many companies and you just can't avoid that probably. And so often if you trust those new methods, if you trust some influencers, this is not your fault that you fail in losing weight. What usually you may hear most often, it's calories in, calories out, move more, eat less, and try this new supplement and try this new superfood, right? But why, if there are some magic supplements, if there are some, like, if that's so simple as calories in, calories out, why then so many women fail to lose weight and are stuck in yo-yo dieting? Why almost every woman who enters perimenopause age, who is approaching menopause, struggles so much with that belly fat that is seems to be impossible to shed. So if you would like to know the actual reason, the real reason that holds so many people back from achieving their healthy weight goals, that's what I'm going to tell you about now. And my big discovery when I did my research for myself, when I went through my journey, was that there is one common reason that explains so many symptoms that I struggled with. So in my case, there was a very specific reason for everything that I experienced, like worsened temper, extreme fatigue, stubborn fat, bad sleep, PMS issues, and all that stuff. And you know what? I found out that gaining weight is not the core issue. Like, it's not the root of the problem of what was going on with me. It is a symptom that your metabolism works in a storing mode, that your body is saving energy for some reason. Having low energy is not the core issue. This is another symptom that shows the inability of your body to produce enough energy to satisfy your expectations. Being hungry, snappy, groggy, even on those days a week before your periods, this is not the problem. These are the symptoms that your nervous system is overtaxed and that your hormonal system is awry. So if you suffer from all of these or some of these symptoms, it is highly possible that they are caused by the same core reason. And you have to define that core reason so that you could lay the foundation of your system and jump from that and be consistent with change. Because if you don't know where you start, your steps will most likely be chaotic and not really leading to any consistent results. I hope that makes sense for you. So if we have a look at all of these symptoms on the slide, it turns out that there is a common reason that unites all of them, and that is insulin resistance. Insulin resistance lies at the roots of so many health issues, including weight gain, especially in that belly area. and creating that stubborn fat that seems impossible to shed, accompanying that weight gain with a variety of symptoms that you probably struggle with. So, let me briefly share what insulin resistance is and why it's so important to know if you have it. Insulin is a hormone that our pancreas produces in response to glucose levels rising in our body. Every single cell of our body has insulin receptors. They are like small doors that open up for insulin, and it usually takes something with it, for example, glucose. You probably heard that taking glucose into cells is the main function of insulin. But also, insulin tells our body to create fat deposits. And more than that, it commands what to do with those fat deposits, whether to burn them or store them. Insulin is a storage hormone by its nature. It likes to create those deposits and to keep them. And we need insulin since it also participates in building processes, restoration processes, and so we need those processes. We want them. But when there is too much insulin for too long, our cells feel overwhelmed, and at a certain moment, they start refusing to open up those doors for insulin, and we gradually become insulin resistant, losing all the benefits of insulin activity. And when cells do not open up for insulin, it keeps circulating in our blood, telling our body to grow fat deposits. So the main idea that you have to remember now is that while insulin levels are up, our body cannot burn fat. Like this is physiologically impossible. So how do we become insulin resistant? And what blocks our way to shedding extra fat? There are three major things that influence that, and they are the three major roadblocks that inhibit us from losing extra fat. Roadblock number one, impaired blood glucose metabolism. I believe it all starts here with blood glucose going awry. Let me briefly introduce you to how blood glucose metabolism works. If you look at this picture, the red dotted line is your blood glucose baseline. It's normal level that your body really tries hard to stick to. The dark blue line shows us healthy glucose fluctuations that we experience if we eat some nourishing, high protein breakfast, like, I don't know, eggs, arugula salad, tomatoes, maybe a piece of rice, sourdough bread. But imagine that you wake up and on your way to work, you drop into Starbucks, get a big chocolate muffin and a big cappuccino with a couple of teaspoons of sugar, and then have a look at that red line. It shows how your glucose goes way up and then falls deep down. That demonstrates what happens with our blood glucose levels after such a breakfast, when you have lots of refined carbs and sweet especially. So you get a spike. That's when glucose rises really fast, really up. And here you might feel some energy boost. And sometimes people feel like there's too much energy and they may even feel a little bit anxious. Your body produces insulin in response to that glucose that has arrived. And the higher your glucose goes up, the more insulin your body needs to produce to get that glucose back to normal. Since remember, we have that baseline, our body tries to get it back to normal. And since here we can see a sharp glucose spike, there will be lots of insulin to get it back down within really short time. That insulin will make your glucose fall deep down below that level that your body finds normal. And only when glucose levels go back to baseline, your body will return insulin levels back to baseline as well. Now, you remember that insulin is a storage hormone. When it has to process a lot of glucose really fast, it'll put some of that glucose into cells for cells to have some fuel to make energy, and it'll push the rest of glucose into fat cells to create those storages. The more glucose there is to process at the same short period of time, the faster your body will try to do that, to return the glucose back to normal. And the faster your energy levels will crash. This is the case when your brain will sense the danger. No fuel to make energy, and that is dangerous for our survival. So your brain will make you go and find some food to return blood glucose levels back to some nice level that the brain will enjoy. And usually people feel cravings for sweets because this is the easiest way to return blood glucose back up. And since you eat something sweet, your blood glucose most likely will go way back up, creating another spike because if you eat something sweet, there is too much glucose again. So you get that spike and you start riding a blood sugar roller coaster. It looks like this. You eat a sweet breakfast, your sugar levels skyrocket, you feel content for a while, not long. But then those levels crash, your energy crashes, making you feel like you should eat something really, really urgently. And that boosts your sugar back up, and so on. So you can ride those roller coasters for a long time. Now, here you may ask why our body creates those crashes, dropping blood glucose down so fast. Here's why. While we do want certain levels of glucose in our bloodstream, since our cells use it to make energy, big amounts of glucose are really bad for us since they make us gain weight and they are toxic for our body, especially for the nervous system and blood vessels. And when we ride this blood sugar roller coaster, we do not just gain weight. We also start experiencing a variety of symptoms like unmotivated anxiety, worsening of sleep, headaches, skin rashes, painful periods, powerful cravings, and so on. Like this list can go on. And for sure, along with all of that, we experience general lack of energy and inability to focus because of that, which is the next roadblock. So roadblock number 2 is not enough energy. Glucose is a very important fuel source for our body. If cells cannot use glucose properly, we lack energy. When you experience those blood sugar crashes, you cannot possibly feel that you have enough energy. Lack of energy has a strong influence on our routine choices and often hinders us from moving on, from staying consistent, from taking right decisions easily or at all, and you simply have no energy for your everyday life. And our brain hates it when there is not enough energy. Low energy is a signal of danger. It's a question of survival for our reptilian part of brain, which does not care whether you want to look lean or to be thin or anything like that. It cares only about survival. So the brain usually does several things to help that problem. It will turn off those activities of the body that require a lot of energy, like fertility, for example, or libido, or your desire to have sex and be pretty. Then it'll make you crave energy dense foods, therefore, like sweets, for example. It will make you move even less, not to waste that energy that is left. And your brain will do its best to save as much energy as possible to ensure your survival. And guess how our body does that? How our body keeps the energy for your future needs. That's right, by creating more fat deposits in case of hunger or like true starvation and need for energy. So, do you see now? If we go back to those recommendations that you usually get about weight loss, like move less and move more, sorry, and eat less, like how can they help you here? You have no energy. How can you possibly move more and eat less if there is already need for getting more energy and your body, your brain will make you get that energy? So, if your glucose and insulin metabolism do not work properly, and if your body and your brain lack energy, you will not be able to eat less and move more simply because your brain will make you do the opposite. And trust me, your brain is always gonna win this fight. Your brain doesn't care about how thin you wanna be, it cares only about your survival. That's all. But what I think about is that all those methods of losing weight, like calories in, calories out, move more, eat less, like do this, do that, they create additional pressure on you. Like they create additional pressure on women, making you feel not trying enough, maybe not good enough. Like this is so awful. And that creates additional stress in your life, in the life of so many women, as if you don't have enough of that already. Because, like, the next roadblock is that impact of stress, that increased energy demand because of stress and other things that we're going to talk about. And at the same time, we experience decrease of the body reserves and abilities to restore. So, have you ever felt as if your daily tasks and routine responsibilities list grow from day to day, and now you have at least 10 times more responsibilities than you used to have like 5, 10, 15 years ago? I know I have felt that. And just think about all those roles that simple, regular 40-year-old woman now has to manage in our world. She has kids, she has home, she has work, she has husband, parents, and like it all creates so much. I don't want to say that that creates stress, but when you have so many responsibilities, when you have so many things on your to-do list, if even if they are like simple, like I don't know, buy not even groceries, like go buy milk, go buy this, then cook that dinner, cook that, talk to your kid, talk to your parents, give them a call, make an appointment with the doctor, pay taxes, pay bills, and so on. Like this to do list alone can create a lot of pressure already. And for women who are around 40, usually they have also like their personal life may be in a thunderstorm, like in the middle of divorce or in the middle of new relationship. These women are so often like on the rise of their career or they are trying to get there after pregnancy break. And like there's so many things happening and that require their energy, their attention, their time, and at the same time, this is the age, around 40, when female body starts changing. Like we cannot avoid that. We have to talk about that and think about that. Female body changes and it starts lacking some important nutrients because it cannot produce them anymore. Or like you cannot restore your muscles that fast as you could 10 years ago. Your sex hormone go crazy, and that creates another level of emotional, psychological, and physiological chaos. That influences energy levels, sleep quality, body metabolism quality and speed, and that again enhances the stress level even further. And altogether, that often drives the weight gain further up. If you think about that, your energy demand is probably the highest now, um, during your whole life. And due to all those responsibilities and this to-do list, and at the same time, your energy reserves are depleted due to many reasons. And maybe even if you had the energy of a 20-year-old, maybe that would not be enough. What do you think? So, while your life is so busy now with so many responsibilities, choices, duties, other people's expectations, society demands, and stress of what's going on around you in the world in general, in your family, do you still really wonder why you feel so exhausted? Why you feel so stressed out? That you have no energy to cook or work out properly? So, being in that chronic stress is very energy demanding. And you know what else chronic stress does? Stress elevates blood glucose and insulin levels. Non-managed chronic stress will keep insulin elevated for years. If a part of your routine life is lack of sleep, it will raise gradually your glucose and insulin levels up and up and up. Even if you had just one night of poor sleep, of insomnia, the next day you are going to have higher levels of blood glucose and insulin relatively. So it's like you have not eaten anything yet, but you already have those levels elevated. How do you like that? So, so all those triggers, all that chronic stress makes it really harder to lose weight because it creates some blocks that are hard to avoid, especially if you have no habit of really taking care of yourself. And if you, like so many other women out there, put needs of other people first. So, this is the type of questions I like to ask, like how much time and space do you have just for your own needs? Do you even think about your own needs? Do you know them? Have you thought how your needs and preferences changed recently? What is your typical way of taking care? Like, what do you do for yourself on a regular basis? I know that many women would do everything their family, their husbands, their work demands, maybe some friends, and so on. And only then will they try to kind of do something for themselves, which is usually so often nowadays, like drinking a glass of wine, eating a chocolate, a piece of pizza, and binge watching some movie. But well, that is not bad on its own. But if that's the only way you take care of yourself, then we have lots of problems and issues. So basically, let's recap. This is what happens to you if you have blood glucose dysregulation, and you can get into that vicious cycle. If your blood glucose levels get dysregulated and you spend some time, years maybe, with elevated insulin levels, then your body will gradually become insulin resistant. It will turn on energy saving mode because it cannot get enough energy out of that glucose that you put into your body because insulin is not working properly now. And energy saving mode will turn on weight gain. Weight gain, especially if that's located in the belly area, will provoke inflammation around the body and in that area most of all. That inflammation will add to chronic stress you already have in your life. And chronic stress, if you're permanently in that condition, that will elevate your insulin further. And you get into this circle and you can spend many, many years of your life there. And the quality of your life will not be good, trust me, unfortunately. Is there a way out? Of course, yes. Uh, The good news is that insulin resistance is a condition that can be managed by dietary changes and by lifestyle changes. If you manage your stress, if you do some other things that we're going to talk, then you can reverse that condition and return your good quality of life, your well-being, and your narrow waist, which is so good to have. So I defined several foundational cornerstones that I tested on myself and also in my work with clients. And let me share them with you. First, you need to build awareness. You need, in this world, you must have basic knowledge of how the human body works, how food works in the human body. You need to know even what food is and what food is not. Because nowadays, if you go to a supermarket, you do not always recognize the food from not food. And you need to have that knowledge and you need to understand how your lifestyle can also impact your body, the processes, weight gain, weight loss, and all the changes that are happening in the body, including like changes in sleep, changes in your activity level, and so on. I believe that is the foundation that each of us should have because then you can proceed to build awareness about yourself, about your own body, about your personal individual changes and reactions. When you know how your body gains weight and what keeps that weight stick, what the connections between your food, your lifestyle, and how you feel are, then like you can understand how to keep that weight away and many other things as well. That really requires honesty, at least in like for yourself when you are honest with yourself. But opening your eyes into that will be of immense help. And you can probably understand one day that that extra weight is created by indulging in that chocolate muffin with sweet coffee after like you could not resist it because you had sleepless night, because you couldn't fall asleep before that, because you were stressed out after a long day, because your kid got sick and you had to take him to a doctor and you spent half of the day in the doctor's office and you did not have a thing in your mouth all day long and you were so tired and so exhausted and so hungry that you overate on your when you had dinner and then you could not fall asleep because you felt heaviness and then you were not fully woken up the next morning and so on. So you can see how that circle goes on and you can see the pattern and then you can probably see how to break it. Like, for example, one of my clients was struggling for years. Like, she said she wanted to sleep after lunch every single day. She had miserable headaches and she had like really strong cravings for sweets. When we started building awareness, she realized at a certain point that for every time she wanted to fall asleep after lunch and she had migraine at that time, like she had either rice or potato mash before that. Every single time. She didn't notice that. And she realized that those were the trigger foods for her. So remember our three big roadblocks? She had her blood glucose metabolism dysregulated by overeating refined carbs on a regular basis. That caused energy crashes and elevated insulin levels, and that added to her daily stress along with the weight gain. So when you have awareness of what's going on with you, you may start creating your own personalized strategy because there is no one single fit us all approach to health or weight loss. We are all so different. You need your own strategy. The strategy always includes nutrition and lifestyle changes. You always have to improve your diet, your sleep, your activity level, your stress resilience if you want to lose weight. Like you have to look at all of these things. And You do that on the foundation of your knowledge and awareness about your body and your personal reaction. Like for this client, what we did, we added things into her routine, like high quality protein sources, relaxation pauses, mindful eating. Then we removed things when she kind of collected some energy and was able to just refuse herself with certain things. So we removed some ultra processed foods and refined oils that she trusted before to be healthy. We kept veggies at the foundation of her diet. We spread fruits throughout the day and set better timing for them, like after protein rich meals. And we also kept some desserts to satisfy her cravings when they emerged. Within a month, she lost 6 centimeters of her waist circumference, going down from 89 to 83 centimeters. But what made her even happier was that she forgot about her headaches. She stopped falling asleep after lunch, and like she had so much energy in general, which is amazing. You know, was it her dream destination? Definitely not yet, but she had really good results within just 4 weeks, and she had her strategy clearly defined for her to keep applying further. And to help her do that, what she needed now was accountability. That is the cornerstone number three. You know, accountability is a wonderful tool, honestly. Like, how many times have you tried to lose weight on your own when there is no one who can support you, who could understand you? You need someone on your team to hold your hand, to listen to your joys, to your sorrows, just to listen you rambling about that and thinking about that loud, because that is important. You know, you need someone who would truly understand what you are going through and not laugh at you, not make fun, but really genuinely support you. And especially if you have no one around you, like in your family or your friends, if there is no one at home who would support you, then you need a group of people who think, like, who are challenged with the same problem like you are, or a good coach that would support you. Like a year ago, I did a 5 week program about the basics of nutrition. And I was honestly amazed with the support these women provided to each other. And like when one of them had some setback, um, the others would support her, would cheer her up. And it was it was so beautiful to observe. And you know, in that process, they got the understanding that setbacks are a part of their journey. Like you are going to have setbacks. You are going to hit plateaus if you are on your weight loss journey. Like this is going to happen because this is normal. It's a part of your journey. Plateaus and setbacks will be there. And you need to know how to deal with them. And you need to have someone who would support you when you hit them. So, like making mistakes sometimes, or I don't know, like it doesn't, hitting plateau does not make you stupid or weak. You know, making mistake does not make you stupid or weak or bad. It means that you're alive and it means that you are trying, you are doing things. Because, you know, like we don't do any mistakes only when we do not do anything at all. And the miracle that I observed with my group of those amazing women was that supporting each other through resistance, through setbacks, and being kind to each other, they became kinder to themselves. Like they started treating themselves in a different way. And that was so beautiful. And that is the cornerstone number four. Being kind to yourself, having that caring self attitude is so huge. You cannot sustain weight loss without that. Like you cannot feel well without being kind to yourself. It's a huge secret that I share with you. And being kind to yourself literally changes how your body reacts to foods, to movement, to stress. It changes this reaction on physiological level. It changes which hormones participate in that process, you know? So you can talk to yourself in a way that will enhance your stress level, that will worsen your digestion and will enhance your weight gain by that. Or you can change your self-talk. You can become your best friend. You can become your own fairy godmother. And that will work miracles for you, I promise. A nurturing mindset will help you manage those setbacks and plateaus. It will help you become more stress resilient and have lighter reactions to stress, to many, many, many things. And that will help you manage your insulin levels as well. Nurturing mindset will help you make better choices. And for example, maybe you will have rest before you are totally exhausted and you will spend a better day. So I've seen that many times, and here's another story that happened to my client. Like this lady came to me eating pretty clean already. Like she practiced yoga, she was pretty active. Like there were some minor changes that we made in her nutrition. Mostly we worked on her sleep, her stress resilience, and on her self attitude. Her way of being kind to herself was to allow herself to eat all the chips, all the ice cream, cakes, drink cola whenever she wanted and as much as she wanted. Like she would have those periods like 6 months of clean eating, nice movement, and everything was pretty fine except for sleep sometimes. But then she would have that swing back into those, like if something happened, when she felt lonely and she would start just indulging into sweets like a child because that was her way of being kind to herself. But there was no nurturing mindset. You see, she had always hard time when she tried to stop eating all those sweets, and her self-talk was so demanding, so criticizing, and it didn't help her. Like that was a real fight inside of her. So we started changing that. We focused on that self attitude. And in the coaching process, she became aware of how harsh she used to be to herself. And that shocked her. She used to choose the needs of others over her own. She used to expect very fast changes from herself, like she demanded that from her body and was really mad, but that did not work out. And she used to shame herself and blame herself, and that was weaved into her self-talk all the time. Now, look at those changes within just 5 weeks. What do you think? Would you want to get similar results just by changing how you talk to yourself? Well, to recap what we have discussed today, we discussed the main roadblocks on the way of most women on their journey to weight loss, to sustainable weight loss. And we also looked at the main cornerstones that will help you lay that foundation of your health and weight loss journey and to make that long term. So I trust I fulfilled my promise, and I would appreciate your feedback on that. And let me share how I use this these cornerstones and those ideas in my work. I created my signature methodology to support women who struggle with losing weight in the midst of the life turbulence. So my smarter weight loss method has strong foundation, the scientifically grounded knowledge base. It is structured. I provide knowledge about food, about sleep, about movement, microbiome, how to detox, what hormones do in our body. That together creates the clarity and the basis for awareness, for observing your own body and understanding certain connections, which is so important. You can do that with the peer support, and together with peer support, with those awarenesses, you develop another kind of mindset. You become more self-caring, and that is becoming ingrained in your personality. It enhances your resilience, and it helps you easier enroute new routines, new habits that you find better for you, more healthy for you. So this method is a part of my program. Like I On the basis of the method, I created the program. It's Smarter Way Less formula. And I must tell that this is not another diet. It's not about restrictions. The program, the method are about taking care of yourself. They are about helping you create a new lifestyle that would be yours, that would be personalized for you, that would work for your life with your restrictions that you have, because we all have them, with your priorities, with your preferences. And like that helps you shift from being very uh, like trying hard and struggling all the time and feeling lost, moving into trusting your body, trusting your intuition, nourishing your body with foods, with proper foods, with better restoration habits, doing things that are going to help you feel better with every single day. So this is a 12-week program that I am inviting women to participate in. And if you are interested in learning more about this program, you can book a call with me, and I will show you I will show you QR code to book that call with me if you choose to do so. So if you're a busy mom, if you struggle with extra weight, if you tried so many times before, if you want to change things, and if you enjoyed and that resonated with you what I was talking about today, please book a call with me and we will discuss it further, whether this program and my services and my coaching are a good match for your personal story, for your life. I will be upfront. I will tell you that I do not, like, I cherry pick my clients and I do not work with everyone. And there are reasons for that. Like there are people who are looking for magic fixes, quick fixes, magic pills. This is not the case. Like I cannot promise that. I do not do that. And I do not work with such people. I will challenge you with tasks. I will challenge you with some hard questions sometimes and sometimes painful awarenesses, but they are like necessary surgery that you need in order to create a better lifestyle that will be with you for many years. Um, People who are purely vegan will not really like, if they are not interested in like in trying out some animal-based products, probably my program is not the best match because I rely heavily on animal-based products due to a number of reasons that I will not dive in right now. And for pregnant or breastfeeding women, I believe that this is not the time to lose weight. Like, this is the time to nourish the body with good foods, and we can discuss that on individual sessions. And you can still book a call, and we will talk about that. I will be happy to share my knowledge, my expertise, and share some better matching experts with you, so you could get your goals going, you could get your moving. Anyway, here's a QR code that you can easily use in order to, you can scan it and book a call with me. There are some various times that you can use, and I will be happy to see you on that call. It is free, by the way. Did I mention that? The call is free. It takes around 30 minutes, and we can talk about your challenges. We can talk about your questions, especially like if you want to talk about the program or cooperation, I'll be happy to do that. And so thank you so much. It was my pleasure to be with you today. I hope that you enjoyed this workshop. I'll be happy to answer your questions and to meet you in person on the call that you can book, and see you around.